I've just finished installing this oak beam, which is actually new oak that I've aged and used to cover the existing 2x material. This is a cheap and easy way to add character to a room and give it a traditional feel. And I'm about to show you the process I used to do it. So to start, I have this board that's about 2 by 7 inches or 50 by 175, and I'm going to resaw that down into 4 equal parts of about 12 mil or half an inch. I have 2 of these boards, so I'll resaw both of them and that'll give me 8 pieces to work with. When I'm done resawing, I'll bring them over here to the joiner or the planer, depending on where you live, and I'll give each one a nice fresh face. Then bring them over here to the planer or the thicknesser and send them through that, and that will leave me with 8 boards with a nice face on each side, and it's ready to start the aging. So now I'll use a screwdriver that I've ground down to be a bit sharper than normal. And I'll just drag it along to create some splits in the wood. I'll let the screwdriver dig into the grain and follow it so that it mimics the path in which a natural split would occur. Now I'll use a grinder with a flap disc to create depth and variation in the wood. Within each board you have different types of wood. You have the pith, heartwood, and the sapwood, and within the growth rings you have early wood and late wood. And they all have different textures and densities, and they age and deteriorate at different rates, which leads to an undulating surface texture. With this flap disc you can attempt to mimic this undulating texture, and you can also attempt to replicate some original hand hewing or saw marks. After you finish roughing it up with the grinding wheel, the next step is to put some holes in it to simulate woodworm. What I like to do is take a finishing nail, grind it round so you don't get square holes at the tip, put it in a framing hammer with a nail holder, and put a pipe clamp on it or a Jubilee clip. That holds it in place. And you can just pound the holes in. The woodworm holes tend to be pretty erratic, sometimes bunched and sometimes spaces without. So just hit it randomly. You can do this step before or after the stain. I generally do it before, because then the holes pick up some of the stain and it adds to the contrast, making them darker and more apparent. But it's always important to do some tests. So flip your board over, test it on the back, see which you prefer, and you'll know which to do then. Next, give it a brush down, because we're going to stain and we need nice clean surfaces. Again, I would do some testing on the backs just to make sure that you're going with a stain you like. And I like to use just an easy rub-on stain. Make sure you get enough in the cracks to really highlight them. Wipe off any excess and go to the next board. So here I've got a freshly milled oak board next to several of the oaks I just finished this aging process on, just to demonstrate the difference. You get something that looks much older and more unique, and you do it at a fraction of the price of a solid oak beam. Depending on how you're going to install them, you might want to build them into a box in your workshop so that you can just move the unit as one to install, say for a false mantle. I'm going to be cladding some 2x material, so it'll be easier to install as separate pieces. To install the pieces of oak, first what I did was hold the oak up in place and trace the contour of the ceiling. To demonstrate this, I'll use this piece of foam board to really show the marks. And I'll hold it up, and you can see the gap caused by the undulation of the ceiling. And what you can do is just hold your board up in place, take a marker, and just scribe right along the ceiling. And when you cut this top off with a bandsaw or a jigsaw or even sand it off, your board will now perfectly mimic the undulations of the ceiling. It'll fit right in. If you've got really big undulations from an uneven ceiling, you can just tape a spacer to your marker and do the same thing. And now you could accommodate for even bigger gaps. And that way, when I push it into place, there's no gap between the oak and the existing ceiling. Next, I'll just glue the back, put it up, and clamp it into place. Once I'm happy with the positioning, I'll come back with a finish nailer, set quite deep, and nail as many nails as I need to, which is fine because the holes actually replicate the woodworm, so it just blends right in. I installed the front and the back first, with at least 1/2 inch or 1 centimeter hanging down below the existing 2x material. That way I could come back with the bottom piece, tuck it in between them, and clamp them tight with the front and the back pieces. That also eliminates any of the gapping between the 3 pieces. Once that's cured, I can come through with the same flap wheel on the grinder, blend everything together, knock down the corners, give it a real aged look. One last coat of stain just to blend everything together, and the installation's done. It's actually a pretty simple process. So this is the final look of the aged beam, and you really need to study it to see that it's not actually an old beam or that there's any seams. And it's a really easy and cheap way to add character to a room and give it a traditional feel. There's some links to click if you'd like to see some more carpentry videos, and if you liked the video, I'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe. It helps a lot. Thanks a lot. See you next time.